I'd like to take a few minutes and talk about selecting a realtor. This is a huge decision. The right decision, it's going to be a breeze and you're going to make good money and everything's going to go fine. The wrong decision could take 6, 8, 10 months, cost you tens and tens of thousands of dollars, take away your time, your energy, your money. So this is a critical decision for many people. They haven't made this decision in 10 or 15 years. So I'm going to help you kind of decide how this works. I'm going to go back to a lieutenant colonel from the Green Beret was mentoring um, Ron Rivera from the Redskins or from the Washington football team. And what he said was, he said, you're going to get a lot of information when you come over here. You need to decide what kind of information is interesting and what kind of information is important, and try and decipher the two, because your goal is to focus on the important and be entertained by the interesting, but don't let that steer your focus away. A lot of information. Same thing's coming true right now with a seller looking to sell their home. If you invite three realtors in, you are going to get a lot of information. Okay. So let's talk about what is interesting and what is important, at least in my opinion. So you may hear agents talk a lot about their company, okay? How big their company is, along at Foster, Waker, Sotheby's, Keller Williams, Remax, whatever the company is, it doesn't matter. Coldwell Banker, they're all big. Well, that's very interesting about any information about the company, but it's not going to help you. So it's not important. It's not going to help in the sale of the house. The agent is important. What does the agent do? What is the agent's way of pricing my house? What is the agent's pricing strategy? What is their marketing plan? So agents sell houses, not companies. So company, interesting. Agent, very, very important. Okay. So then we'll talk, of course, every seller wants to know about pricing, and the agent will say, okay, here's my price, and let's go to the Realtor Property Resource, whatever does the CMAs, and we'll put in your address, and boom, out comes your number. And artificial intelligence tells you what the number is. Well, that is very interesting, very cool, but they're only right less than 10% of the time. And I don't care whether it's the pricing machine from Compass or Redfin or Realtor Property Resource or Zillow or Realtor.com. It really doesn't matter. I chart them all. And I find that artificial intelligence is about 10% accurate on when they're pricing a house. So it's not the what do you think the price is worth. It's very interesting, by the way. But the most important thing is, how did you arrive at the price? Because all the information in this 26-page report is interesting. Well, tons of information. But what we really want to know, what's really important, is what are the houses that sold within 1 mile of my home, similar size, similar age, within the past 160 days? What was their price per square foot? What is their adjusted price per square foot? What was their percentage of assessment? And how does that affect my house? What does that mean? What kind of, with that information, how do you arrive at my price? Okay. So our model does that. Our model is very specific and has a 97% success rate as opposed to a 10% accuracy rating. So, I kind of look at it, considering the days that we're in, and we're not talking about vaccines. Pfizer may be a 96% effective vaccine. Johnson & Johnson came out and said theirs was a 60%. I'm going with a 95%. All right. Now, when you think that in real estate, the pricing engines are 10% accurate as opposed to 97% accurate, then you start to think to yourself, that's very interesting, but it's not accurate. And it's not important, because it could steer you. If you overprice the house, that's when you lose 10, 15, 20. I mean, I can show examples where people have lost $100,000, $140,000 and had their house sit on the market for a year or more. So very important. The what is very interesting, but the how you arrived at it is important. So we want to focus on that. So the next thing, that's interesting and important is staging. I mean, to have a stager come in, they're very, very cool. And they'll talk about we're going to do this with the furniture. We're going to have this look and that look, which is totally interesting. But I've never seen one that's actually, I don't believe in those for selling houses. What's important is for a buyer when they see your house online to see 2021 colors, hardware, lighting fixtures, plumbing fixtures. I'm talking about the guts of, and these are what's called cosmetic items and cosmetic items only. So, you know, we just focus on cosmetic items that I just spoke about because they do bring a house up to 2021 standards. They do make it look like a current house. That is what's going to show up on the internet and bring people in. And the return on investment for the cosmetic items is anywhere from 5 to 1 to 7 to 1. So we invested $8,500 in a house, and in my estimation, it made them about $100,000 to $120,000. So that's a good return on investment. So interesting, staging, how cool everything can look. Important, what money can I invest that I'm going to get a big return on, get the maximum return for my investment. So again, let's focus on, you know, let's focus on what's going to return the investment and not what's going to look really nice and really interesting. Then the next thing you might hear, and you may hear, is some people are, some of their marketing plan is international buyers, how we market to international buyers. International buyers are a very small segment of our buyer pool. And even those buyers that are international coming into the United States are always represented by a local realtor who is feeding them comps. They can also, or feeding them, you know, properties that they can buy. They're also on Zillow, that's international. Realtor.com is international. MLS, you can get these things from anywhere. There's 100 sites that have our information on them. So really, there is an international MLS. It's basically called Zillow, and it's called Realtor.com. So, and it's called, they have local realtors. So although the international marketing, the MLS, international MLS, very, very interesting stuff. And some agents put cool looking advertisements in European magazines. And again, very interesting, but not important. That's not where we're going to find it. Well, what today's technology does is let you identify your target buyers from around the area, across the country, and around the world. So if somebody from England was looking at a house over in McLean and I had a house in Vienna the same price, then I'm going to take that ad and I'm going to show it to that person from England. That's target marketing. Now, again, I say it's not the international market as much as I'm interested that somebody in McLean is looking for a house and we can show them something in Vienna. And it may be $200,000 less expensive, you know, for the same house. So again, we want to go around the area. We want to go across the country because a lot of people are coming in from the West Coast. We want to go around the world. We have all those things that's important. How you market to that group, that's important. Not interesting, it's important. So again, so when we talk about companies, interesting, agents, important. We talk about, you know, the promises of what the prices are, what they can get you for your house is very interesting. What's important is how you arrive. How did your agent arrive at that price? What's also important is what people's track records are when you're looking at agents. General statistics, 26-page reports, very interesting. But what happened locally, what happened to houses that you have to compete with, what's the market conditions at the time, that's what's important. Staging, interesting. Return on investment for things I can actually do to my house to make it sell for more, 5-6 times the investment I'm going to put in, that's important. International marketing, very interesting. How you arrive and how you target people and how you go after people and when you go after people. When do you go after them? It's before you list or after? That's a big question. So the other thing, the last thing I'll say is very interesting is, and I've been in business for a long time, so I've heard it all, seen it all, I know it all. Agents will come in with, and most of the companies will say, well, you're worth 6%. Most of the trainers will say, you're worth 6%. You got to prove you're worth 6%. You got to tell them you're worth 6%. Well, if the track record of an agent that does 4.5% is 10 times better than the agent doing 6, then the question is, what makes that worth it? And the answer is, the important thing is you don't have to pay more than 4.5% when you're selling a house. I mean, you get all of the important stuff at 4.5. The rest is interesting. Why people think they're worth 6% is extremely interesting. Now, who pays 6%? Well, if I've been working with you for 30 years and for 30 years I've been charging you 6%, you call me and say, Casey, come list my house and it's 6%, it's 6%. And there are agents that have clients that come back to them and are very loyal, and that's fine. But if you're competing, and if you're watching this video, that means you're asking 1, 2, or 3 agents to come into your house. You're competing. The competitive commission rate in our book is 4.5%. Now, some people may have to charge 5 or 5.5, and that's because their brokers get a piece of their commission. And so they have to charge a little bit more to give some to their broker. Again, company's not going to help you, so why pay them? We don't pay our broker anything. So the 0.5 point we normally have to pay our broker, we give that back to the seller. And then we get more business. Seller gets, so it's a win-win situation. It's a win for the seller because they save thousands and thousands of dollars. A win for us, we get the listings. And it's a win for the company because we do a lot of business and bring them in a lot of mortgages and settlements and stuff like that. So that's hopefully this helps you determine when you're gathering the information. Let's put some in the interesting category, but let's focus on the important category. And that will help you determine which agent to go with. And I will just say this, if you choose the wrong agent, it is a long road. It's a long road and it's a very expensive road. So make sure that the agents that you're talking to are focused more on the important stuff than they are on the interesting stuff. My name is Casey Samson with the Casey Samson Team. I'm at Casey@CaseySamson.com, or you can reach me at 703-508-2535. Thanks.